Let us move and let me introduce the next speaker of the day, Mr. Sunil Attavar. He is the chairman and managing director of Group Pharmaceuticals India, and a very interesting topic today, patient centricity, the crux of it, what is to be done, and it is to be listened to. So listening is what he is going to talk about. You have to listen to the voice of the patient. He is currently the chairman and managing director of Group Pharmaceuticals, a company focused primarily on dental hygiene and oral care. He has over 33 years of experience across spectrum of roles, starting as a medical representative. He worked across many functions from brand management, finance, projects, and the last 17 years as the head of the organization. He is credited with launching 7 first-time in India products in the dental segment. He continues to work on launching innovative products in oral care with 4 patents application for novel formulations. He is also third-time president of Karnataka Drugs and Pharmaceuticals Manufacturers Association, senior vice president of Federation of Pharmaceutical Entrepreneurs, and also the vice president of National Alliance of Pharmaceutical Association. So over to you, Sunil sir. We are looking ahead to listen to what matters in listening for patient centricity.
Thank you, Dr. Swati. Yeah. I'll share my screen. Of course, my presentation is on a very simple subject, but very, very important subject on listening and how important it is to patient centricity. Being so late in the day on a topic like patient centricity, a lot of the points have already been covered, and a bit of what I'm going to say is actually going to resonate from the presentation of Mr. Ashok Bhattacharya. And I think a lot of points, and sometimes I feel maybe I've heard him before somewhere and then pick some of the points. But I will run through this topic on why listening matters, and also share with you some examples that we implemented in our company and how important it is and how it makes a big difference to the patient and also to the company. Yeah, so my topic is, listening matters. As a pharma company, especially in India, where we have been very generic focused. Predominantly, we're a country which is generic focused company, and our business has been with brands and branded generics. All our focus has remained with the customer. The customer predominantly being the doctor. And as we in marketing always say, our first customer is the field staff or the medical rep. So our listening has been from them, like, what they want, what they require. We have fulfilled their needs. And as a result, we've not actually spent a lot of time in talking or listening to our consumers, who are the patients, and what they have, what they feel, what they think about our products, and also caregivers. Within COVID, has brought to forefront the caregiver, the front line. They are actually in direct connect and direct touch with the patients. They are the people who really feel the pain after the patient. The first person who actually touches the patient and hears what they have to say is the caregiver. And I think this is a part of our business. This is how we have been for a very long time. We all want to be patient-centric. Patient centricity, like being digital, has become the new buzzword. Everybody wants to be patient-centric, but as I said, we've been very doctor-focused. We've been very customer-focused. We've not talked to the consumer. We have invested most of our time and resources as pharma in India on transactional business. And by transactional business, I'm not talking about transactional business, what Mr. Hatangadi gets very angry about, but rather when we have looked at growth opportunities, like if I have to take a team of senior managers and put them around the table and say, how can I help you achieve our growth figures next year? The top 3 requests that will come would be increase samples, increase inputs, increase the scheme, maybe reduce the price. So everything has been productivity driven. It's not been efficiency driven. Even now, The thinking is in that direction. And as companies also, when we have looked at growth, we have looked at expansions coming from more number of launches. So if you talk to brand managers, now it's of course come down in the last 4 or 5 years, but before that, it was, brand managers were talking about how many new products we launched, how many new divisions we launched. So the business growth was very kind of productivity driven more than efficiency driven. And as an industry, we've been very inward looking. We believe that, pharma has to find solutions within pharma. We have not looked outside pharma to find any kind of take the best practices. We don't even hire people from other industries. Somehow we are very shy. So as a result of which, we believe that everything what we are doing is the right. It's like the frog in the well kind of a situation where we think we are kings. No one else knows what we go through. We don't take best practices. We don't learn from what's happening outside the industry. Again, in digital, if you see, we were laggards in adopting digital. We adopted it very late. As a result, we were very confused and we overdid it in the last 10 to 12 months, which actually became a negative. And we didn't understand the adaptation process very easily. Same thing with consumer centricity or patient centricity. We've been very inward looking. There are best practices happening outside our industry, which I think we should look at. So what is patient centricity? Patient centricity would, in simple terms, be putting ourselves in their shoes, understanding what they feel, understanding their pain, understanding what they are going through. But that's not possible, right? All of us can't become patients. We can't suffer like what they are suffering. So what's the best thing to do is listen to them, understand. Listening becomes very important. Knowing what patients go through, what do they feel, what are their pain points. That would be the best thing to do. Listening. We've heard so much about trust. Yes, patient centricity is all about care and trust. But most patients don't know the company, and we don't, as an industry. If you take 100 strips of a particular drug, 100 companies, it looks almost the same. There is no differentiation. There is nothing that tells a patient one company for another, because he just goes by the product that the doctor has prescribed. He takes it. He's forgotten. Even in the two consumer patients whom you spoke to, Dr. Swati, was they knew something about industry and they named 3 or 4 companies because of either they have invested or they knew those companies. So if you ask most patients, they don't know. And hence, listening to patients, talking to them, understanding them, it becomes very, very critical in this whole process of patient centricity. Patient centricity is, of course, meeting an unmet need. And who else is going to tell us about this unmet need? What do they want? Like today, you spoke to a patient. He's the right patient to tell you that, the cost of medicines, he feels that the costs are high. So he believes something. Same thing about anything about a product. Who's going to tell us about it? It is going to be the patients. Hence, we need to listen to them. And listening definitely builds outstanding products. If we take the example of companies, the best brands that we are using today, like a Netflix or a Google Pay, they are listening all the time. Sometimes definitely they're listening a little more than what is necessary, but they are able to build better products for us because they are continuously listening to their consumers. So I'll take 2 examples. One is Swiggy. There were many apps in the market, food delivery apps in the market that were there. And then Swiggy came along and they are today the number 1 app. Why are they the number 1 app? It's simply because they understood that the patient's pain point was not knowing when his food was going to be delivered. So they just added a small add-on to the app and just tracked the delivery person. And suddenly, you felt very happy that, you can track when your food is coming. So even if it was a few minutes late, you were okay because you knew it's on the way. That simple thing about consumer centricity had made that entire app today the leading app. You look at Spotify, today it came in so late into the India market, but it's the number 1 music app. Why? Just because it listens to you, understands the type of music that you listen to, and then gives you a range from which you can choose, and it makes special playlist only for you. So you feel very happy that you listen to a type of music and suddenly you can hear 10 more songs that are the same type. I'll also take an example of this company called Jodo. If you look him up sometime, and you will see Jodo is a company that gives loans. It's exclusively gives loans to school going parents, means education loans for schools. It's a startup company in Bangalore. Young entrepreneurs come out from IIM, and you just go, and they actually went stood outside more than 50 schools, talked to parents, understood what are the things that they have in effect, and why, when there are banks giving loans and personal loans, why they don't approach them, why do they borrow money for paying the school fees, what are the points. And they came out with two the problems. One is that they have to pay interest. Second, that there's too much of paperwork. So Jodo has designed where you take a loan, there's zero interest to the parent. They give the money to the school and charge the school interest. Second, the entire loan process is on WhatsApp. You don't even have to do anything else. So these are what I mean by listening. When you listen to your consumer, you listen to the patients, you will come out with ideas, and I will show you by examples how it has helped us. Listening helps, definitely. It helps build empathy. If you listen to your consumers, it will help you understand what are their needs. Listening helps strengthen trust. When you talk to people and you say from where you're coming, definitely they feel very comfortable to talk to you, and that builds trust. And listening helps you know of an unmet need. There is some gap somewhere. Who's going to tell you about it? It is only when you listen. So here are some suggestions, especially for young brand managers and companies, that if you are willing to listen, important is talk to your patients before, during, and after launch. And how can we do it? It's not very difficult actually if you try. Most of us, especially in India, I don't know so well about the other countries, how is their market. But in India, most of the senior managers, that is zonal managers, is spread across India. So in every state, you have one or two zonal managers who have spent 10, 15 years in the company, who are much more mature. You can use them to form small focus groups. Whether it's on a particular, say you're launching a pain product and you want to visit a hospital and you want to talk to 20 patients. Maybe initially you may need to take some expert help, and there are a lot of experts who will design formats and who will train you. But if each zonal manager across the country can do a small focus group of 20 patients to understand about their product, imagine when a company collects it and he has 50 zonal managers, suddenly you may have 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 feedback that has come to you, and that becomes very important resource. So the company can then decide what they need to do. During the launch also, it's very important that as you launch products in pharma, we don't have this habit of doing test marketing, which all other companies, other industries do. We straight away take a product and we launch it all across India. And sometimes we make blunders, and that's why the failure rate in our industry is very high, because we don't do test marketing. During the launch also, it's very good idea to put a product, talk to the doctors, talk to the consumers, what they think about it. Are there any challenges? Are they having any problem? How can you improve? And that will help you to then go on a all India launch in a much better way. And even after the launch, you don't stop talking. Brand managers should build a cycle where every few months, couple of years, understand what's happening. Whether your product which you launched at one time was excellent product, but then other things have come better, and so people don't feel so good about your product. Is there a way that you can get that feedback? And that is where when you touch the patients, you will know that yes, this is what they feel. Listening is very important. Patient centricity is not about the marketing tool. You need to take it across the company. I think a lot of speakers have said everybody needs to get into, whether it's the R&D, whether it's new product, whether it's packaging, whether it's the quality. Patient centricity is about making the entire company part of the process. It's a culture that you have to build where your patient becomes at the center of what you're doing. And you say that, yes, this is the feedback we have got. Can you look at it? So you go to the production team and say, oh, this doesn't work. This is what I'm getting the feedback from the patients. Can we do some improvement? And I can assure you that and from examples I will show you that the outcomes of patient centricity far outweigh the cost. We think that becoming patient, having surveys, doing these things are very, very expensive. It's something that costs a lot of money. So the tendency is, if I have to spend 5 lakhs rupees on getting feedback from 5,000 patients, it's better I increase my samples, I'll get more sales. So why simply invest that money? But I can assure you that the feedback will pay you 10 times more richer dividend than increasing small inputs. So I'll go to examples now, and I'll take this tweet that I saw a few days back from Mr. Anup Soam's, which he retweeted from a very interesting gentleman called Guru Cooking. And as I said, social media, if you're willing to listen, social media throws up all these interesting thoughts to you. And when he says, what he said, which is a fact, that most products, tablets are all just 10 tablets, strips. 90% of products are 10 tablet strip, either blister or strip pack or alu. There's nothing different. And I remember as a medical rep, we used to launch a product which was for dentists, and the dentist used to prescribe, ibuprofen, paracetamol, 3 tablets for 2 days or maximum 3 days, and we had a strip of 10. And many doctors used to ask me, he says, the rest of the tablet is going waste. So I took it up to the company that time and said, and to the brand manager, says, why don't we launch 6 tablets? He said, no, the chemist is cutting and giving. What's the problem? Tell the doctor. It's not a problem. So it was fine at that time. But today, with online and markets becoming such an integral part in the few years, you have to buy 10 tablets. If you use 6, you'll have to throw out 4. And like this gentleman has suggested, can there be 7? Can we mark the date so that compliance becomes very, very easy? So social media is a good place to listen. You get a lot of good ideas, great ideas, and brand managers can use this as an opportunity. Few examples from our company. As I said, in group we listened and we learned. We are a bit fortunate because we are in the dental space, and also some of our products go online, so we get a lot more feedback. So one example I want to share is about, we have a children's toothpaste, okay, and to make brushing fun, we decided that we should have many flavors in the toothpaste, because it's not, like in the past, you had one toothpaste in the house and everybody used it. But today, every person is using, the children want and need a separate toothpaste. But to make toothpaste fun, we should have many flavors. So after 4 flavors that we thought were good, the last 2 flavors, we said we need some more flavors. So what do we do? And this came out of a suggestion actually for a product that we were exporting, and they asked us to do a small market survey with children. So we said, okay, let's try kids and see what they like. And we had all these flavors: strawberry, melon, mint, vanilla, butterscotch, chocolate. And asked the kids, which flavor do you like the most? Sitting in office, most of us, including myself, thought we had made an excellent product with butterscotch and chocolate. And we believed that that was the flavors that kids would like. And we almost launched chocolate flavored toothpaste. He says, if you give it, kids will enjoy, they'll brush their teeth, they'll have better teeth. But when the survey came out, we were pretty shocked. Chocolate was the least liked flavor in the toothpaste, and butterscotch was the second least flavored like product in the toothpaste. So you could see, if we had not to listen to a consumer or to the kids as to what they like, we would have launched this product, we would have invested lots of money, product would have gone into the market, and we would not sell, and then we would fire the medical reps as to why they are not selling. But unfortunately or fortunately, we had this survey, and this survey really gave us very good results. This is the power of listening. Another example I can give you, that social media, today highlights a lot of concerns. And if you're listening, I don't know in other countries, but in India, we had this WhatsApp going around telling people that you should look at the eye mark on the toothpaste, and you decide from looking at the eye mark whether the product, if it's green, means it's vegetarian, if it's red, means it's non-vegetarian, if it's black, means it's all chemicals, and something like that. And we were answering a lot of these questions, saying that's not true. This is fake. You should not listen, and the eye mark is not a question. And then we sat down internally in the company and said, what is the consumer really telling us? What are they saying? They're saying that you are not informing us, so we have to believe what is there, in the social media. Toothpaste did not have at that time the information, and then we changed our packaging, and we said, let's be open and tell our consumers what exactly is there. If it's a vegetarian, we say it's vegetarian. If it's a non-vegetarian, if there is an animal extract, a product which has something that is not vegetarian, let's mark it. Let's be honest to the patient. Let's be open with the patient and communicate with them. Now, this I don't recommend in pharma because you wouldn't want a patient to decide what is the source. If that is the case, nobody will take vaccines. So the whole idea is that when you listen to people and you understand what they are saying, and the messaging comes to you, you can actually improve your product for them. So another third example, and the final example I'll give, is actually a product for elders, which is denture tablets. And why I have deliberately put denture tablets in this is because for brand managers, especially in India, the next 20 years, India is going to become one of the oldest countries. Today we are the youngest country, but all those under 35s are going to cross 55 in the next 20 years. And I think one of the speakers brought it up, that we should be developing products for geriatrics. We should make products that are very important. And we had developed this product, which is a simple denture tablet, which is to clean dentures. And it's there in the market. But when we talked to elders and we said, it's not, why you're not using it, or what's happening, and the feedback that we got is, we don't know how long to keep it. Even though you say keep it for 30 minutes, we are not sure of how long we should keep it. And sometimes elders are, they give it to somebody else to keep it, and they are not very clear in their mind, when they can take it out, when it is clean. So we went back to the team and we said, we have this problem. What can you do to help us? And how can we tell the patient or the person using it that his cleaning is complete? So we actually went and developed a product which would color change. It would go from normal water, it would become green, and then this green, after 30 minutes or time, it would turn to blue. And that's the time when we work that, yes, so the product is completely now clean, you can take it out. So without having to, look at his watch or go and check his phone, just by looking at the product, the patient could actually, know that the product is complete. And this helped us, in fact, one of our patents is on this, is helped us make a better product for the consumer. Listening helps. With these examples, I just wanted to convey this point, that if you're looking at making patient centricity as as a part of the company, very important, listening helps. It brings us closer to the patient and puts them at the center of all our plans, whether it is developing a product, whether it is designing a packaging, whether it is making a communication, whether it is deciding a taste. I don't know, I'm sure many of you have a lot of syrup products, and whether you've ever done a market survey of the flavors that the consumer likes. And as I said, age groups different, the liking would be different. So listening helps. It brings us closer to the patients and put them in the center of all plans. And I will close with a sentence that I borrowed, and I will continue borrowing from Mr. Hatangadi, who says that patient centricity is human centricity. It's all about understanding people. It's all about understanding what their needs are and putting them before you make your product. Your product is designed for them. And if you don't ask them what they like, if you ask them, definitely you will get a better, better product, it will help your company, it will help them, and help your growth. Thank you.
Thank you, Sunil sir. It was wonderful. You gave examples from your own experiences, and that is why people look up to such examples, that these are helpful. They can get some ideas from these examples. So happy to listen, and this was superb. Okay, thanks for this recognizing research. Okay, Mr. Kalairaj is saying he thanks for recognizing research in your presentation. Wow.
Kalairaj himself is a researchist. He is the market researcher.
We have a comment. Social listening is the key to companies. Sadly, not many companies actively listen and do the needful. Patients feel cheated.
Yeah, I think that's a big part we have left out, and we should bring it as a part of, as a plan in the entire plan. We should have. It doesn't cost a lot of money. We always believed it costs a lot of money, but I think it does not.
Right, sir. Bhaskar sir has commented, nowadays the trend is implants and not dentures. So you must be listening to a new story.
Yes, definitely. It's gone beyond that. I should tell Bhaskar, it's gone beyond implants now. There's a lot of gene therapy and even in oral care. So we are listening to that also. Yeah.
Perfect patient centricity examples, and we all are aware about that example that you shown about WhatsApp message and the tooth being vegetarian or non-vegetarian. That message circulated really wide.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sunil sir, for this perfect presentation.